Here's a rundown on some of our Monday morning news here in the state of Alaska. In case you missed it, over the weekend there was a plane crash, 2 believed dead, out in the area of Antioch. As of press time, they still had not reached the wreckage. They had spotted it, but weren't able to get to it because of bad weather. Governor Walker, in releasing his budget, has proposed eliminating almost 800 jobs and also using almost all of the fund that we use for revenue from the permanent fund. That has drawn fire, of course, and whether or not he's going to be able to get this passed in the House of Representatives is anyone's guess, but he definitely has his eye on the permanent fund. He has, however, cut the General Access Project. Newsminer also carried an editorial on it, firmly in support of balancing the budget, even if it means taking the permanent fund or tripling the gas tax, which is another one of the things that this does. The General Assembly is going to be considering some motions tonight. It's going to transfer funds to cover some of the shortfalls caused by the governor's cuts earlier in the year. However, there's a separate story noting that the pledge from the City and Bureau of Juneau of $1 million helped sway the decision by the University of Alaska to put the college education, or the education department, the education college, putting that, centering it there at UAS. No. So wait, now we have to move funds around because we don't have the money, but we're going to pledge $1 million. Right. Helicopter crash, Hatcher Pass, Sunday morning. The pilot and passenger injured, taken to the hospital. Both survived as of right now. There was a burglary at a Hooper Bay church. Apparently somebody broke in, did some damage to windows, and then stole some Germex hand sanitizer. That's it. No arrests planned for right now. There was a man caught on tape in video stealing a FedEx package right outside the doorstep in Anchorage. I'm not sure how you're going to beat that one. A couple of brothers reportedly ran away over the weekend, and they were found safe by Sunday due to help from the public. Anchorage police put out the alert, and people responded and helped find the boys. More tension in Utqiagvik, or is it Barrow? Lawsuit is pending. A lot of the younger people, actually, the ones who pushed for the change. The older folks are like, hey, it's been Barrow as long as I've been here. Why are you going to change the name? We didn't even know you're having a vote about it. Speaking of votes, the judge dismissed that lawsuit brought to try to block Alaska's electors from voting for Trump. He said, no, you don't have any standing. Nope. And the 3 electors from Alaska planning on voting today for Trump, despite what they're calling avalanche of lobbying to get them to, quote, join the movement to vote their conscience. Interestingly enough, there was a candlelight vigil in Juneau on the steps of the Capitol last night to urge electors to vote their conscience. I'm pretty sure that most of the electors in this process were already pledged to vote for a particular person, so wouldn't that mean voting their conscience, going with the pledge? I'm just curious. Incidentally, if you are following that story, 37 electors who are currently pledged for Trump would have to change their mind and vote opposite how they promised to vote in order for it to go to the House of Representatives, which, is also in Republican hands. Point Woronzoff double murder suspect was arrested on Saturday morning and is facing arraignment today. Also, an announcement from the federal government that the state's not going to need to repay back the money that was spent, the federal money that was spent on the Juneau Access Project that's now been canceled. No, you don't have to repay it. Well, gee, I wish that all of my loans just disappeared when I decided not to do something I said I was going to do with the money that I borrowed for it. A little bit of a loophole for pot sales. Talkeetna kind of spotlighting that. If you're interested in it, there's a story in both the ADN and the Frontiersman about that. Now it looks like the Mat-Su Valley is going to try to close that loophole to make sure that you have to have permission from the local borough before you can have a pot shop. Another series of shootings in Anchorage. 2 people shot in one shooting, another person shot in a different one. I'm not sure if they're related in any way, shape, or form. However, there was a separate story noting the FBI says that there is a rise in gang violence in Anchorage. Unemployment for November up to 6.8% for the state of Alaska. And, incidentally, there is a new move from Senator Sullivan to impose the death penalty on someone who's convicted of attacking a police officer. We'll be talking about that during our commentary today. A couple other things in case you missed it. A man was sentenced for selling explosives down in Anchorage. Reginald Jesse Hawley, FBI informant. He sold the FBI informant some explosives for $200 a piece. I think a total of like $1,000 for 5 bricks. It was like a sting operation, and I don't know. So much about that, you just kind of wonder where this is coming from. A fire destroyed the Ice Park building here in Fairbanks over the weekend, and a Fort Wainwright soldier was killed in a vehicle accident Thursday night. Investigations continuing on both of those. There's more news. If you want the full 30-minute version of it, you can download it for free at the website, radiofreespeech.com. If you like what I'm doing, please become a sponsor. You can do so either through Patreon or by becoming a direct subscriber at radiofreespeech.com. Thanks, and tell all your friends. Hit me up on Facebook.